We would like to analyze and interpret the short story The Annex, which is written by Amy Hempel in 1997. The first question, question 1a, what very difficult situations is found in the Annex? At first we have the death of a baby, because the woman, she lost her baby, and that is a very difficult situation for a human being. Then we have the protagonist's pregnancy, because we think the protagonist is pregnant, and that causes some complications during the short story. And then we said a new beginning, because on one hand the protagonist and her husband are expecting a baby, which is a new beginning, and on the other hand they just moved into a new house, which also is a new beginning.
Yeah. Then we have question 1b. To what extent is everyday courage depicted in the Annex? As far as the protagonist, we feel like her everyday courage is shown by her fear of losing her baby. So, in a way of overcoming her fear, she needs to dig up this baby, the dead baby. We feel like she gets on with her day by trying to overcome her personal fear, as many people do. They try to overcome a personal fear. Then we have the woman at the Annex. Her courage is that she keeps coming back to this place, to the cemetery with her dead baby, because it kind of brings her bad memories, and we think it's very traumatizing for her to come back, because it reminds her of her baby, which she lost, and that's kind of all pregnant women's fear.
Yep. Question 1c. In what way is the narrative being tested? Is anyone else being tested? And how do the characters in the Annex solve being alive? And what do they draw on in order to do this? We said that the narrative is being tested by the woman, because the woman reminds the narrator of a fear, this fear of losing her baby. And she kind of, the narrator, she solves being alive by the shovel, because the shovel is this key element that is represented in the story. She really needs to find this shovel, because she needs to dig up the dead baby in order to solve being alive. The woman solves being alive by visiting the grave, because we thought that it kind of brings her peace, and the fact that she in that way can see her baby and come visiting the graveyard may help her accept the fact that she actually lost her baby, and in that way that's how she solves being alive.
Yeah. Question 2. What may have happened to the woman at the Annex? We think she lost her baby, and we have a quote. I wanted to ask my husband if you call it a baby at the age of 5 months. I mean 5 unborn months. So we think it's possibly a spontaneous abortion, because it seems like she haven't given birth to this baby. There's another quote. I suppose he thought it would be a useful thing for her to have for when she had the baby. Well, she never had it. So she never gave birth to this baby, so it's possibly a spontaneous abortion.
Yeah. Question 3. How are we to understand the ending? The narrator, she wants to, and she really needs to dig up this dead baby in order to keep living her life. And we chose the quote, which is the very last sentence of the short story, and maybe find the goddamn shovel, because it kind of shows that the narrator, she really needs to find this goddamn shovel, because she can't live her life without finding the shovel, and in that way move on with her life.
Yeah. And then we have question 4. What are the themes and message of the story? And we think the themes are fear, courage, and love, because we think especially fear and courage is very represented in the story, because it's both of these women's fear. The woman at the annex kind of have to live with her fear because it actually happened. She actually lost her baby, and the protagonist is her fear is losing her baby and end up like the other girl or the other woman. So both of these women really shows a lot of courage and love to these unborn children. And our message is overcome your fears.
Yeah.
And question 6. Comment on the title. Suggest an alternative title which would reflects your interpretation of the story. So the story is called The Annex, which is a part of the cemetery, which is very unkept and wild grown, and this is where the baby has her grave, or his grave. And we have a quote which says, "This is a cemetery which has its shapely, tended trees and wild flowerful shrubs and Halloween headstones that go back 200 years. The thing that is different about the annex is that the annex is not landscape. It is a wild, grown-over field of shrub, oak and dune grass, which get bulldozed and plowed under as the need in somebody's mind arises one row at a time. Except that the men who run the bulldozers and things don't call what they're clearing a row. I made a point of finding out they call it a plot line." And we think an alternative title could be The Shovel, because we think it's a key element in this story. It kind of is the element that connects the dead baby and the protagonist.